Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3, and I am back once again with the returning. He has returned after the pandemic, and we are back with him. It is J News of J News Japan. So, what's going on, good brother?
Hey man, it's been a while. Today is what June 11th, right? June 11th. I think the last time we dropped some video was in March, so it's been about 3 months.
Yes, it's been a while. It's been a
Yeah,
while.
it's been a long while coming, man. And I'm happy to be back on because now we know New Japan is coming back June 15th, first event.
Absolutely. The
So
reason why J News is back on the YouTube channel is, of course, we're talking about J News Japan. New Japan Pro Wrestling had a press conference this past week. It was on Monday, and they announced that New Japan will return on June 15th. The Together Project special will be the first show. It's kind of like a New Year's Dash, where it's going to be a mystery card that they announce at the top of the card. But we are here to talk about the New Japan Cup. We were robbed of the New Japan Cup in March when the pandemic started. So New Japan said right off the bat, we get a tournament, one of the top tournaments of the year. So before we get into that, this is a quick reminder to you, the viewers, push that like button, give us a thumbs up, make sure you enjoyed this content, make sure J News Japan knows that you enjoyed the return of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And of course, right at the bottom, there's the iCard. You could push that to subscribe and push the bell to stay notified for more content right here on True Hill Heat. So, J News, let's get into it. This is our New Japan Cup preview special, our preview for the New Japan Cup, where we're going to go through all the matches, the first round, and we're going to predict how this tournament is going to play out. So the start of the tournament is going to be on June 16th, the day after the Together Project special, and we have 4 matchups on June 16th. 4 on June 17th. Then they return a couple of days later on the 22nd and 23rd to finish out the first round. So we're going to start off on the left side of the bracket, I believe,
yes,
where
sir.
we're going to have Toge Maccabee going one-on-one with Yodo Suji. So you know a little bit more about these guys than me. Toge Maccabee is one of the old school New Japan guys. He's one of the New Japan dads that I really like. Start off at I saw the end of their run when I first started watching New Japan back in 2014, 2015. He's one of the never open weight gods in my opinion. But Yoda Suji, I don't see that much because a lot of my viewing of New Japan, I'll go straight to the top matches a lot of time. But from watching you on J News Japan, I've heard you talk about this guy. You see the potential of these guys, so tell the people a little bit more about him.
There's a lot of potential in a lot of the young lions. Sorry for the mess up there, but Yoda Suji is one of those dudes. He's brash. He's very hard hitting. He's gonna be, how can I say, in the line of like Ishii in a sense. So
Okay.
you might see him there, but he moves a lot. Obviously, he moves a lot more fluid because he's a younger dude and things of that nature. But for this particular match on June 16th. Makabe Suji. I call it the young lion wins this match.
Whoa.
The young lion wins this match and goes on to the quarterfinals.
That would be a rarity.
It
You
would be.
don't see that often a young lion beat a New Japan dad.
It would be. And to give you a slight reason for it, New Japan during the press conference did state that they were going with something new, something fresh, something a little bit more bold. So I think that that at least from my perspective, pushing the young lions a little bit more, a little earlier in their careers, would be something fresh and something new. Especially since a lot of the young lions now are fan favorites. So
That's true.
why not do it now?
Why not go for it? I understand. I'm gonna go with Maccabee in this one. I'm just gonna go logical thinking. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna go off the bat that quick, but that would be something new and something to get like the New Japan Cup started with a bang, with a big upset. But I think I'm gonna go with Maccabee still.
Not a problem. I understand the logic there because, the older generation always does seem to win out over the young lions. But I feel with the new fresh start, we might see something new there.
hey, we'll have to swing back around and see if you were correct. You'll have to brag about it on the next J News Japan.
Perfect.
Next, we got Tomohiro Ishii. You were just speaking about him, the Stone Pit Bull. I like to call you our Tomohiro Ishii. You're a Stone Pit Bull yourself, and he's gonna go one-on-one with Suzuki Gun's El Desperado.
Yeah. What's your take on this particular match then?
Well, this is another rarity with New Japan as a
Right.
as a junior heavyweight goes one-on-one with a heavyweight, but I got Ishii winning this one. Ishii is a guy that always does well, always has great matches in these tournaments, and I feel like this is going to be an underrated kind of gem of the first round.
I don't disagree with you there. I'm gonna go with Ishii as well. Watching Desperado the last year and change with Kanemaru and Doki and all those dudes is like he's kind of been half-assing it for me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Ishii here. The reason as to why, because I'm always looking at the pairings, right? So I picked Yota Tsuji to win his match. So if Tsuji goes on to the next round, he gets Ishii. Future, present, and former, we get that match in the quarterfinals. Ishii, Tsuji, book it, SP3, book it.
I like it too because that's gonna really show the potential, like you said, that you see in Suji. But I wouldn't also mind Ishii versus Maccabee. That's another Wrestle Kingdom classic from the past that they can have a rematch there. So I wouldn't mind that. And then we got next on the 16th a comedy match, in my opinion, as it's
Right.
gonna be Toru Yano going one-on-one with Jado. I'm gonna say Toru Yano gets the win in this one.
Yeah, I didn't think too much about this particular match because Jado doesn't do much, so Yano gets the win here. But it will be a comedy match. It'll be interesting to see what kind of comedy Yano will bring after the break. Right? Is it still going to be the DVDs? Is it still going to be the pulling off of the turnbuckle pads? Is it going to be anything different? So you know.
And I also think he's someone that we're gonna have to see how he is able to adapt to the no crowd, because
Right.
he's a guy that really relies on crowd response.
That's right. Definitely. Definitely.
So
We'll see how it works.
next up, we got the main event for the New Japan Cup on the June 16th edition. It's going to be Honma. Honma, first time in a big tournament in a while for Honma, and he's going to go one-on-one with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Hiromu Takahashi.
Well, all right. So I've said this before on video. Maybe not. Maybe I just thought it to myself, but I'll say it now out loud. I feel, and I never usually am prone to telling people what they can and cannot do, but I feel like Hanma doesn't have any business being in the ring anymore, man. That's just my feel. He had his go, he had his run. He did get injured in a very bad way. It still shows in his work now. I just feel like he's doing more hurt to himself than any good. I picked Takahashi just off of the strength. Like, Jesus, how is he not going to win this match? To be quite honest,
Absolutely, I agree with you there.
And it'll be interesting, right? So if Takahashi wins this match and Yano wins his match, it's going to be Lij versus chaos in this sense. So
and that's another one. I feel like Hiromu Takahashi is a guy that can adapt to Yano's style with the comedy match.
Exactly, because Takahashi's funny within himself, man. He's got his pup. He's got his
Daryl.
He's got Daryl. He's got Daryl. He's a wild man in the ring, but he can do comedy pretty well. So I look forward to that. I feel like we might see that Takahashi match earlier on in the night, though, Sid. It might not be the main event.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right.
On this condition and stuff like that. So we'll see how it works out. And plus, I think they're going to have other matches during that night too. So
yeah, I would say out of the June 16 matches, the best match from the tournament that can main event is probably going to be Ishii versus Desperado. So yes, I have Hiromu Takahashi getting the victory over Honma in that one, and I feel like this is a tournament that Takahashi's gonna do well in as we go on throughout this breaking down each matchup. So next up in the first round, though, on June 17th, we got a battle of New Japan dads, an old man fight, as it's gonna be Yuji Nagata going one-on-one with Minoru Suzuki. This is going to be the best match from this night of matchups, honestly. I feel like this is going to be hard-hitting as hell. And Nagata's back in a big-time tournament for the first time in a while. And I'm going to go with Suzuki to get the victory in this one. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Suzuki on this as well. Uh, we're gonna take it back a bit after this particular match because we're missing a match here, and the reason as to why I'm picking Suzuki is because Suzuki has to have his match against the winner of the next match we're gonna talk about because it's just gonna have to go down that way. Uh,
Absolutely.
Nagata being one of the New Japan dads, as you said, it's always cool to see him in a match because he still has the majority of what he had. You know, he's not really really lost it like a lot of guys have. But you know, he's near his way out and stuff like that. So Suzuki for me in this case, just because it's Suzuki. So,
That's a good reason. That's a good reason already. But yes, the match that he's talking about is probably one of the more anticipated matches of the first round. It's a match that people have been looking forward to since one of these individuals turned on the other, as it's going to be the former four-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion Kazuka Okada going one-on-one with this former manager Gato.
You know, Gato being the guy who he is the Booker man. He is the Kevin Sullivan of NJPW.
The Taskmaster.
The Taskmaster. This is going to be interesting because Okada's never really been able to get his hands on Gato. I don't necessarily know how much Gato has left in the tank. So we'll see how this goes. Okada will win, obviously.
I think that's a no-brainer. That's why I think I skipped it because I was like, oh, Okada's winning.
But, you know, Okada, Suzuki, quarterfinal match. We're going to get that, and that one's going to be real just off the strength of that.
Always a good match when those two are at it.
It's always a good match. Suzuki knows how to put on good matches with a lot of people at his advanced age. It's always cool to see it because, you know, in comparison to American wrestling where you see the older guys not live up to the hype, it's like Suzuki always lives up to the hype. Suzuki still got it. He's still out there. But Okada's Okada. So Okada will win his match against Gato. They'll face off in the quarterfinals, and that'll be a match I'll look forward to on the 24th. What's up next, Sid?
We got you. I think I'm gonna mispronounce this, but you Umura going one-on-one with Kanemaru. Who you got?
So, being that I know these guys well enough, Yuya Uemura, and I don't ever say his first name. Kanemaru is what I say.
Yoshinimbu.
Yoshinobu, yeah, something like that. Kanemaru, he's the one who always carries the whiskey to the ring. If people don't recall,
the whiskey.
Whiskey, right? Exactly. I took a look at the next match on the 17th as well to see what the pairing would be like. So, in this case, Kanemaru is part of Suzuki-gun, but he always eats pins nowadays, right?
I'm gonna go with Kanemaru though here. He's versing a young lion.
Right. That was my take. He's always eating pins nowadays, so I think Kanemaru is gonna get the win over Uemura, even though I'm a fan of Uemura, but it's not his time yet. But they'll have the Suzuki-gun member go over the young lion in this case. I'll agree there.
So next up, we got Gabriel Kidd, another young lion, but this time from the UK. He's going to go one-on-one with Taiji Ishimori, the former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. I love Ishimori, and I am going to go with Ishimori in this one, but I know the talent of Gabriel Kidd, so I feel like this is going to be a really good one.
It's going to be a really, really good match. I think this is going to be the match of the night, per se, in-ring style and stuff like that. Like yourself, I've been watching Gabriel Kidd probably for 5 or 6 years now, since his WCPW days.
Yep.
He's got a lot of heart, especially after his training in the LA Dojo. You know, he's added some things to his repertoire, and I want to see what he's going to be able to do against Ishimori. But just for match sake, Ishimori will win out. I think he's the lone member of the Bullet Club in the whole bracket.
Yes, so
So
we should also mention that because we had New Zealand. You were telling me before we started recording this, they have like their own like shutdown. They've kind of solved the whole pandemic and the crisis, but they're still like under travel restrictions. So Jay White is not able to be in this tournament. The UK, a lot of their travel restrictions are still in place, so Will Ospreay is not able to be in this tournament. But even a Japanese talent from the Bullet Club, Kenta, he's not able to
he's
be
not
in
in
this
it.
tournament because I
Yeah,
believe he lives in the United States now. So
yeah, he's still
maybe
living. I think he still lives. He lives on the West Coast now. Shorter travel time and stuff like that, or whatever.
yeah.
The other non-Japanese wrestlers like Juice Robinson and David Finlay, they're not on this in this tournament as well.
Well,
So
Juice Robinson is in the UK, very comfortable with Tony Storm. So
right. I was, man, I was surprised when I saw that online, but I'm happy for those kids. Tony deserves happiness. We've met Juice before in person. Juice seems like a good guy, so that was cool to see. That was cool to see. But to get back to this, it's the matches here. Ishimori's the lone Bullet Club representative. They gotta have to have strong Bullet Club representation. So I see him going at least into the third round of his side of the bracket, being that he is the lone Bullet Club member in this whole entire thing.
that
Um,
that would make a lot of sense.
yeah.
So next up on the 23rd, no 22nd, we got the ace of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi, going one-on-one with Taishi of Suzuki Gun. These two have battled off and on for the last couple of years, especially since Taishi has made his move up to the heavyweight division. And I am going to go out on a limb here. This is my big upset of the first round, and I'm going with Taishi to defeat Tanahashi.
Well, we're sharing a brain, Sid. We're sharing a brain here because I picked Tai Chi myself to win this particular match. Nothing against Tanahashi. Tanahashi's great.
Of
He's
course.
been he's been the flag bearer for New Japan, but because of the way they've been booking Tai Chi within the last year, and that clash that he's had with Okada, that feud they've been bubbling up. Tai Chi deserves this win and to go far into this tournament because he might be a sleeper pick for the finals.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. We're hearing early sleepers. All right. But my main reasoning for this one has to do with the next matchup. I just I didn't see how they would have this Tanahashi win and versus either of these guys so early in this tournament. But the next matchup is, I'm going to go out not on a very wide limb here, but I'm going to say this is going to be the best match of the first round of the
So,
tournament. As it's the Golden Star, Kota Ibushi, going one-on-one with Zack Sabre Jr. These two have battled off and on in every single New Japan tournament since these two have joined the company. They versed a couple of times in the New Japan Cup with Sabre Jr. getting the victory over Kota Ibushi. But every time they verse in the G1, it seems like Ibushi beats Sabre. So will this streak continue? Will Sabre get his victory back, or will Kota Ibushi get the victory here? And I'm gonna go with Kota Ibushi to get the win in this one, only because I don't see Sabre Jr. versing his other original Tekkers partner in Taishi.
I agree with you there. Kota Ibushi wins out in this particular match. This will probably be the match of the first round, right? I've been an Ibushi fan for God knows how long now. It was disappointing to me when I found out that he was just going to stay in Japan and not do anything else. But to keep it within conformity here, Kota Ibushi over Zack Sabre Jr. We're gonna watch a good match, a hard hitting match. We're gonna watch Ibushi pull out all the stops in this particular match because Ibushi versus Tai Chi isn't a match I ever remember watching. So it's going to be new to me from a one-on-one basis, and I think they're going to piggyback off of what New Japan said in their press conference. They're going to give you something fresh and something new in that particular matchup in the second round. So I'd like to see that.
So next up, we got Ruski Taguchi going one-on-one with Sonata. Sonata made it to the finals of the New Japan Cup last year, losing to Kazuka Okada in a five-star classic of the finals of the 2019 New Japan Cup. Taguchi is a junior heavyweight, but he's been in the New Japan Cup last year, so this is going to be a pretty good matchup here. I'm going to go with Sonata to get the victory, though.
We're agreeing again, but for different reasons. I am not afraid to say that Sonata is probably one of my favorites of any company. I feel like the push that he hasn't gotten and this slow ass burn that they're going with is a little bit irritating. But Sonata pulls it out here, and I think, I said Tai Chi might be a sleeper. Sonata's my pick to win overall.
You don't want to give away. Don't give away
Listen, I'm all in right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm all in right now.
Don't give the horse away. Don't give the milk away before the cow.
Sonata for the win all the way through the freaking tournament. But I'm still gonna watch it all the way through. Sonata versus Taguchi. Taguchi knows how to put on good, eventful, and comedic, but slash good technical matches. So this is a good pairing for Sonata in the first round. But Sonata's got to show out this time around, and I feel like his win against Taguchi and this next match we're going to talk about, it's going to be a little bit it's going to set it off in that second round, man.
And this is my other pick for what might be the best match of the first round of the tournament. You would know this if you saw the Best of the Super Juniors last year, because these two had the first classic of that tournament, as it is going to be Show of Roppongi 3K, one half of the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions, going one-on-one with the never openweight champion, Shingo Takagi. These two have had a fierce rivalry ever since Shingo has entered New Japan. The tag team of Shingo and Bushi had some classes against Roppongi 3K, and then they had their classic one-on-one first ever matchup in New Japan last year in the first night, I think the second or first night of the Best of the Super Juniors last year in 2019. So this one is going to be very, very interesting, and I am going with another upset. I think Show gets the victory over Shingo.
Well, I'm going to have to go with conventional wisdom here, and I'm going to pick Shingo Takagi for the win here. I love Show and Roppongi 3K is one of my favorite young tag teams and stuff like that. Show as a singles competitor is really, really good. But as good as Takagi has been since coming into New Japan, I can't see him losing in the first round to a tag team specialist. I just can't see it.
I think that the push and the new talent that they are pushing, I think Show is a part of that. I feel like he's a future ace of their junior heavyweight division, but he's also a guy that has the potential to move up to the heavyweight. So this victory is going to set up a bigger matchup with him and Shingo for the never openweight championship. So that's why I got Show getting the victory here.
All right.
So next up, we got another New Japan dad, Yoshi Tenzan, going one-on-one with Yoshi Hoshi. Yoshi Hoshi is a part of Chaos. Tenzan, a part of the great tag team with him and Kojima, but he's been away from all these tournaments. He had his last G1 about 3 or 4 years ago, so this is a rare appearance with him in a tournament, but I am going to go with Yoshi Hoshi to get the victory here.
Yeah, listen, man. I've been watching Tenzan since I was a teenager, and I'm 36 now. So it's been a while, bro. It's been a while. Yeah, Tenzan's not winning this. Yoshihashi, probably one of my least favorite talents in New Japan. But he wins out here in the first round. I don't see any of the New Japan dads winning their matches per se. In this tournament, we'll see, because then from a pairing standpoint, we've got Tai Chi and Kota Ibushi, and then we've got Sonata. In your bracket, we have Sonata and Show. I have Sonata versus Takagi,
which would be a barn burner.
Yeah, exactly. And now I've got Yoshi Hoshi, and we've got to decide on this next match here because that's gonna kick it in a certain direction depending on who wins this next match.
Well, this next one is a battle of junior heavyweights, as it's going to be Yo of Roppongi 3K going one-on-one with Lij's own Bushi. These two have faced off in the Best of the Super Juniors last year as well. In this one, I'm gonna also go with the other member of Roppongi 3K to move on, and I think Sho gets the victory over Bushi.
Um, I usually don't go up against any of the members of Los Ingobernables de Japón, but I'm going with you here, man. I'm picking Yo in this one. I've got Yo here because it gives that chance, that new blood chance, right? So if it's Yo versus Yoshihashi, Yo gets the win, he gets in the third round, and then these last two matches, they'll
Last
they'll
last
dictate.
two, we got another New Japan dad. They just love spouting up here. We
Yeah.
got Satoshi Kojima going one on one with another member of Lij in Evil. I think this one is easy for me to predict. I think Evil gets the victory.
Yeah, there's no doubt about this one. Evil will win his match. I always look forward to his entrances with the lasers and whatever cloak and dagger that he comes out with. So that'll be cool to watch for the first time in God knows how many months. And yeah, he'll
Been a
go.
while.
It's it's been a while.
And then the final matchup of the first round, we got Hiroki Goto going one on one with another member of the Bullet Club. So now Ishimori's not the lone member. We got Yujiro Takahashi, Pimp Juice.
It's good. It'll be interesting to see this match with no fans and Peter in the ring with Takahashi because Peter belongs in the ring with the crowd, and it's just it wouldn't. It's I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know how this is gonna go over. But match wise, I got Goto in this. There's just I feel like Takahashi doesn't really have a prayer in this particular match.
This one is easy as well to predict. I think Goto gets the victory here. So let's go through the second round. We can go through this pretty fast since we just predicted, and we'll start from where we started off from the bottom, and we'll work our way back up to the top. So we both predicted Goto and Evil to move on. So who you got? Goto versus Evil.
That match is gonna be something else, to be quite honest. With Goto's style and how Evil can get around that ring, I always lean towards Goto. Ever since Goto had that G1 match versus Kenny Omega, I've kind of been running Goto's coattails. So I got Goto over Evil in this particular match in the second round.
This one is a pretty tough one, but I am going to go with Evil to
Okay.
move on against Goto. And next up, we got Yoshi Hoshi, which we both predicted, versus Yo, which we both predicted. So, who you got in this battle of chaos members, Yo versus Yoshi Hoshi?
I got Yo, bro. I got Yo. Yoshihashi, like I said before, doesn't do it for me. And they need to, give a little push to the younger guys. So Yo will get the win in this particular match.
I'm going to have to agree with you on this one. I've got Yo winning. I'm just not interested in Yoshihashi and don't want to see him move on. So
Yeah,
that's all I got to say about that one.
exactly.
Next up, we got you predicted Shingo to defeat Sho. I got Sho beating Shingo, but we both got Sonata moving on against Taguchi. So in your one, you got Sonata versus Shingo, the Battle of Lij. Who you got?
The reason as to why I picked the Sonata versus Takagi match is because obviously it's something we haven't seen, and secondly, their styles just make for a better match in this case. Like I said before, I got Sonata winning the goddamn tournament. Sonata wins against Takagi in the second round.
Another form, like I said, I got Show beating Shingo to set up a bigger matchup for the Never Openweight Championship. Also, I think that I'm not gonna give the milk before the cow like J News, but I feel like Sonata will get far in this tournament, and you don't want to have him beat all these champions on the way there because then you're just leaving too much on the bone. If he is gonna win the tournament, you want to have all the focus on him getting a shot at the title and not all the other champions he beat along the way. So that's why I got Show moving on here. So, but Show versus Sonata, I'm gonna go with Sonata getting the victory.
Gotcha.
And next up, we both got Taishi going one-on-one with Kota Ibushi, and I am going to predict Taishi getting another upset victory, beating both IWGP World Tag Team Champions. Who you got?
We're sharing the brain, sir. I got Tai Chi moving on to the third round. He's beaten Kota Ibushi, even though Kota's one of my favorites as well. I always like to see Kota go far in tournaments. The Tai Chi's got a story to write. They moved them up in the heavyweight division for a reason, and I think this is going to start him on. This is going to start him on that role, as people like to say.
Absolutely. Next up, we got the Bullet Club's Ishimori going one-on-one with Suzuki Gun's Kanemaru. I'm going to go with Ishimori to get the victory here. These two had a pretty good matchup in the Best of the Super Juniors last year, so I think this is going to be a really good one as well.
Ishimori and Kanemaru also paired off during the CMLL New Japan uh, shows and stuff like that in tag team matches, and they really feed off each other very well. I'm gonna go with Ishimori on here on this particular match as well. Kanemaru never really gets far. It's like he's like one of those guys who's like in between right now. So they got to figure him out. But Ishimori moves on in that second round match.
Sounds good. And this one might be the match of the second round of the tournament, as it's going to be Okada versus Suzuki. This is the hardest. This is probably one of the hardest ones to predict out of this whole entire this side of the bracket. But I'm going to go with Suzuki to defeat Okada.
So playing off of their last singles match, right? I'm gonna give Okada the win here. Okada, he's gonna grit this one out. We're gonna see the classic New Japan near falls and near chokeouts and everything in between. But Okada pulls this one out to get into that third round.
I just don't see anyone on this side of the bracket besides Suzuki being able to beat Okada, and
Sure.
I don't see Okada winning the entire tournament. So I'm gonna go with Suzuki winning here. So next up, we got Hiromu Takahashi going one-on-one with Toru Yano. This is an easy one for me to predict. I'm going with Takahashi to move on.
I'm going Takahashi here too. You know, at the end of the day, Yano doesn't. You know, he's a comedy guy. They're gonna have a comedy match, sort of, but
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun, and Takahashi's probably gonna drill him into the mat, and he's gonna get his 1, 2, 3. So
Pretty much.
we'll,
I agree there.
we'll see that happen.
So you got Tsuji going one-on-one with Ishii in the final of the second round quarterfinals matchups. Who you got?
I've got the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii, beating the Young Lion because that's just the way it's gotta be.
So I picked Maccabee to move on over Tsuji, but I got Ishii as well getting the victory. No matter who comes out of that matchup, I think Ishii moves on. And then we can start off with Ishii in the next round. And this one, I think, is going probably another one to be candidate for the best match of the entire tournament. Tomohiro Ishii going one-on-one with Hiromu Takahashi.
That's a toss-up, man. July 2nd is going to be quite the day. I can't. It obviously I'm going to have to pick here, but it's a real toss-up for me. Just how it's going to land in the semifinal round. I'm gonna go with Takahashi here. Just because I don't see, for me, but no, breaking down my bracket, I don't see Chaos members going up against each other like that. So Takahashi for the win here against Ishii.
I'm going to agree with you there. I think Takahashi has one of the best stories to win the entire tournament. He got robbed of his matchup that he always wanted against Sensuya and Naito. And the build up to that match, even though it was non-title, was Takahashi kept looking at the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, saying that that's his ultimate goal in New Japan. So I feel like he's going to get far, and he wins against Ishii. So next up is the bottom half of the left side of the bracket, as you got Okada going one-on-one with Ishimori. Who you got?
Uh, I've got Okada winning, right? I just want to I want to picture the match just because of how fast Ishimori is as a performer. I've never seen Okada have that match with such a quick competitor like that. Like,
Yeah.
Omega's quick, but he's not Ishimori quick, you know? So I got Okada winning, but it's an interesting match to watch. Is really where what my basis of that match is gonna be.
That would be absolutely great because these are two of the best performers in the ring for sure. But on my end, I got Suzuki going one-on-one with Ishimori, and I believe Suzuki's going to get the victory in that one.
All right, all right, all right.
And next, we got the other side of the bracket. We both got Taishi moving on against Sanada. I am going to go with Sanada to get the victory over Taishi.
Yeah, I got no explanation here. So now to move on.
Absolutely. Make it quick. And then next we both got we both predict Yo? Yeah, we both predicted Yo getting the victory over Yoshi Hoshi. So we got Yo going one-on-one with Goto for you.
Oh man. I want Yo to go far, but Goto's got he's gotta go far, man. Goto's gotta go far. It's just I'm not saying it's his time per se, but they've gotta give him a push, a significant push, because he's good, man. He's good. He represents New Japan through and through, strong style without question, and he's not getting any younger. You know what I'm saying? So Goto for the win here, and it starts to build towards something different for the rest of the year. Just because my perception is that Naito doesn't keep both belts for the rest of the year, so it'll be a different build.
We shall see. And then for me, I got Yo going one-on-one with Evil, and I got Evil getting the victory there. I feel like this is going to be a very good push for Evil until we get to this round. We got Evil going one-on-one with his tag team partner, Sanada, for me, and I got Sanada getting the victory and moving on to the finals of the New Japan Cup. You have on your end, you got Goto going one-on-one with Sanada.
I feel like this match is probably going to go at least 45 minutes. At least 45 minutes. But as I stated before, Sonata wins here. That's just my opinion.
Sounds good to me. We both got Sonata moving on to the finals. And then on the other side of the bracket, you got Okada going one-on-one with Hiromu Takahashi.
That's right. In this case, I've got the Rainmaker going over in this particular match, just because for me the match of the final and giving Sonata the rub, it's gotta be Okada. It's gotta be Okada. So that's just my take on it.
I can honestly see that. That's not a bad finals as at all. Like I said, I had Suzuki winning out on that end of the bracket. So Suzuki gonna go 1-on-1 with Hiromu Takahashi. And like I said, I love the Takahashi angle for him going to the finals. And I think Hiromu Takahashi beats another heavyweight and defeats Minoru Suzuki.
Woo!
And in the finals, J News has Okada going 1-on-1 with Sonata, while I got Sonata going 1-on-1 with Hiromu Takahashi. So on three, we should both say who we think is gonna win. One, two, three.
Sonata.
Sonata. Yes.
Sonata wins. Now, mind you, looking at it from your bracket, that match, Takahashi versus Sonata, LIJ versus LIJ, going for the LIJ championship belt.
That's why, like as we were going through this, as we're predicting this, I was like, damn, my prediction for show sounded really good until I made it all the way here. It makes more sense for him to also beat Shingo. So he beats every single member of LIJ outside of Bushi before he goes against Naito. That would probably be a better story for the tournament.
I can't disagree. I cannot disagree there. I'm not sure it'll make for the better match, but it'll make for the better story, right? So I like your bracket. I just feel from a long-term storytelling perspective, when Sonata got his win over Okada last year, it was his first time, but Okada beat him again later on in the year. So it's one of those things where he's got to get the one up. Okada's finally got to give him that rub where it's like, hey, you beat me in the finals for the New Japan Cup. Now you're on your way to face Naito. Not saying Sonata's going to beat Naito, but it's like, you know, Okada beat Naito all those goddamn years in a row. So it's like, give Sonata the rub. Finally has Sonata in a place in the company where he's being taken seriously and he's not just another member in a faction, you know? So
I definitely see why you predicted there. Okada is the stronger win for Sonata to really set him up for the title matchup. I just like the whole story of him beating the other LIJ members. I like the story of Hiromu Takahashi trying to get the matchup that he was robbed of. So that's why I got Hiromu versus Sonata in the finals. I think it's gonna be that either way. That's gonna be a great matchup. To me, I just feel like the Okada Sonata matchup has been done to death. I think they did it way too many times last year. I love their G1 matchup. Their G1 match is my favorite. I love their New Japan Cup matchup. But anytime they versed outside of those tournaments, it was lower in anticipation and lower in the quality to me. So I don't want to see it done to death. And I feel like the next time Sonata beats Okada, it needs to be for the title.
Interesting. I don't feel like Okada's gonna get the belt back soon enough for that match with Sonata to happen, just because I am aware of Sonata's contract situation. So it's one of those things where, like I said, it's not like Sonata's going to beat Naito, but I'd like to see the match, and the story of him beating every single LIJ member just makes more sense to me now. It just makes more sense to me now. So it's if he blasts through the entire team and he gets to the apex, right? He gets to that match with Naito and he loses against Naito. Does that mean that Sonata breaks free? Does that mean that Sonata walks his own way?
It creates a whole different story. And Sonata is the guy in LIJ that needs to get away from that group.
Yeah.
He needs to get away from that group. That's the only way he's going to meet his potential.
Yeah. Agreed. Definitely agree there.
So this has been our New Japan Cup full preview and predictions. We want to find out from you, the viewers, what you guys think. So put down below in the comment section who you think is going to win the New Japan Cup. Do you agree with us? Do you think Sonata goes all the way this year? Or do you have someone new? Do you think Hiromu Takahashi is going to get the matchup he was robbed of? Or will Okada get back to the tournament? Or someone early that got eliminated like Tanahashi or Ibushi? Do you see them making it all the way? Put that on the comments below. J News, anything you want to say to the fine people before we wrap things up?
Fine viewers of True Heel Heats and J News Japan, welcome back. We're gonna get this show on the road come June 15th when the first show comes about, and me covering everything in between. I'll try to get these videos up to you guys as soon as possible, just so we can stay in line and not have any lag in between. Then please, like SP3 said at the beginning of this video, like, share, subscribe, do it all, because we've got to make sure that New Japan Pro Wrestling becomes that company here in America as well, to contend with the other companies that we tend to watch on a regular basis here anyway.
We gotta prioritize New Japan. So you heard the man. Like, share, and subscribe. Push the bell to stay notified for all the great content right here on True Hill Heat. So for my good brother J News of J News Japan, it is coming back, people. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our New Japan Cup full preview. Signing off until next time.